So mother, and there is other part of life. So how do you manage to organize it all? How do you manage to go on tours and stay away from home for more days?
Well, I have a very good partner. Colin's brilliant because if I go away from home, then he just steps in and he's mum. He's like, that my kids have two mothers, so that's really good. And I'm being a qualified childminder as well now. So I actually, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening, Monday to Friday, I actually have 4 children instead of 2, my own 2. So yeah, it's very full on and I'm constantly juggling, but so far I'm kind of getting my head around it and it is all happening, so that's good.
Bravo, again. So, one more thing that I want to ask you, because you are actually coming here from the beginning of development of Croatian. What can be explained as Croatian dub reggae scene or something like this? It started with Seasplash Reggae Festival and everything. So I am wondering, do you see some difference between this scene, this area, this attitude, these people, and people from the UK? What is the difference? Because we are, this is because we are all motivated, we were dragged into this scene with the UK dub sound systems. So that's why I ask.
Well, there's definitely a difference in attitude in that people from here are actually more open-minded. It's a bit like Poland in a way. There's definitely an Eastern European vibe, which is very different to the Western European vibe. If you go to Germany, then the Germans are quite purist. They like their ragga, and they're into their ragga, or they like their dancehall, or they like their roots, and no. And in Western Europe, we're very spoiled for the number of artists we have, and it's like, well, there's no Jamaicans in that band, so I'm not going to go and see them. Whereas in Eastern Europe, then there's just a greater appreciation of not only all of the different sort of elements of reggae, but the fusion of the different elements. And you see that in Croatian reggae bands, in Polish reggae bands particularly. There's just a real vibe and an openness to incorporate different influences and different rhythms within that. And for me, that is much more refreshing. I don't think, somebody asked me, when was it? When we played in Ljubljana. Somebody said, well, how can we appreciate this music? Because we're not Jamaican. And I was like, what the hell is that about? So what, are you saying I'm not Jamaican? I've never been to Jamaica. I've got no actual desire to go to Jamaica. The Jamaica that I love is probably the Jamaica from the 1970s. I've got no interest in it, actually. I like to hear Jamaican music, but no more so than I like to hear Croatian music or music from Finland. I consider myself to be a very open-eared person in terms of what I listen to. And if you go to a place and you play your music and the people appreciate it, then fantastic. And you definitely get that here, because we can have Dave mixing and doing the scratching and all of that kind of thing. People just go, oh, wow, this is a wicked sound. They don't go, oh, well, it's not pure roots, so I can't get into it. It's just, get a life. Get a life. We all live in increasingly multicultural societies in an increasingly multicultural world, so if you can't accept fusion, just sod off and live on an island and make your own purist music.
That is also another thing, because I noticed within all these years you are on the scene and the stage. I have a lot of live recordings and all the albums, most of the albums where you sing. I never heard, because you are into reggae scene, let's say, I never heard that you say Jah in your songs, or you call people on some religious motivation, or I don't know.
No, I don't have any particular religious motivation. I think that organised religion is responsible for too much discrimination, prejudice, hatred, and general shit in the world. I think organised religion is really dangerous, and I think in some ways it is a cop-out, because you've got this list of the way that you should live, you've got a list of the way that you should relate to other people, and you stay within that. That doesn't mean I disrespect people for taking that path. If that is their path, then absolutely fair enough. For me, there's a guy called Matthew Fox who was a monk, a Catholic, hardcore Catholic monk, and he started talking about, you know, his big quote is, "There are many roads to the river, but there's only one river." And his religion is all-encompassing. But because the Catholic Church didn't like that, they imposed a vow of silence on him for 1 year. For 1 year he didn't speak. And then when his year was up, he turned to the person who was next to him and said, "As I was saying." And I just think that is just perfect. That's spot on. It's just like, okay. And now he runs workshops in California for people of different, very different opposing religions to work out what are the similarities within their faith rather than what are the differences. In this world, on this planet, we are obsessed with what the differences between us are, and we cause wars, we cause fights, we cause violence, aggression, whether it's people from one pub going to fight people from another pub because they're pissed up and they're stupid and they haven't got anything better to do in their lives, or it's, you know, our supposed war on terror. It all comes from the same thing. It's a human thing. I just think we should all just drop it, work out what we want, and move forward positively on this planet. Otherwise, we're going to chuff it up, and there'll be no more planet, and that'll be it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Life is precious. Oh, life is precious. Life is precious. Vanya, we changed the set list, so we need you now. We have two special guests with us. We have Vanja and we have Damir at the back there. The Yano and Orisa. Radikal Dub Kolektiv. I hope Verki's here. And I know Vedran's here somewhere. Vedran, we love you. Power steppers rhythm, this is a power steppers rhythm, this is a power steppers rhythm. You have to know
Voila. So you're getting music from lots of different projects tonight. We've got the Molara meets Dubmerge EP. We've got and LP. We've got a solo project with Mad Professor on the go. And I'm also doing a project with the man who wrote most of the Zion Chain music, Power Steppers, and that last one is a Power Steppers tune. This next one, in fact, is a Vibronics tune that we just like, so we're going to play it. Wow. They're asking for witnesses, they're record but only get silence from the community. You get murdered, caught up in the crossfire. Another you get slaughtered, I feel it for the murder. Another you get murdered, caught up in the crossfire. Another you get slaughtered. Hey, hey. A long time ago. It's got a conscious message. A lot of these tunes have got conscious messages. I keep him and keep him more. With love in his heart, love in his soul. I know that life will change him, but I hope to protect him. The poison hearts and poison minds, those who disrespect him. I know they want to be me. They will never defeat me. I am set right with love in my heart. I am a love revolutionary. We love revolutionary. We love revolutionary. We love revolutionary. We love revolutionary. Oh yeah, yeah. Love I say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, love. Oh, you got to feel it in your heart, your soul. You got to live with love, 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 love. Everybody, it's time for love revolution. Everybody, it's time for love revolution. Everybody, it's time for love revolution. Everybody, it's time for love. Love in your heart, love in your soul, love in your eyes, love in your smile, love in your voice, love in your dance, love in your laugh, love in your head. Love, oh my. Everybody, 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 it's time. Love, revolution, revolution. Okay.
Bravo!
We've played 5 tunes now. I think that you know it is safe to come forward. We will not bite you. We won't even sweat on you. Thank you. Hvala vam. Take it from me. 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 Okay, so we have to make some special dedications. We have to thank Vanja and Damir from Radikal Dub Kolektiv for being very lovely. But we also have to thank Vedran for bringing us here. It's a very brave thing to do. And he knows that I love him anyway, so that's good. But I also have to do a very, very special dedication to Alan. Alan said, Alan's driven us beautifully. The best driver we've had in years and years. So yes, Alan, this one's for you particularly. Twice last night in Split, and the audience sang more of it the second time around than we did, so. Anyway, this is magic. Heartbeats pumping like a bass line, keep in time, make you feel so fine. Heartbeats pumping like a bass line, keep in time, make you feel so fine. Heartbeats pumping like a bass line, keep in time, make you feel so fine. isn't he wicked? I think he's here to stay. On the drums, Paul Selenite. 50 inches of pumped up bass action, Lofty! The gorgeous girls, Vanja and Nualom. I'm mixing it up live and direct at the back there, the Yanana Risa of this particular team. Down here, you large man. ayo. Ore mi je kajo, kajo ijo ayo. Ayo we, ayo we, ayo we, kajo ijo ayo. Ayo we, ayo we, ayo we, kajo ijo ayo. Ore mi je kajo, kajo ijo ayo. Ore mi je kajo, kajo ijo ayo. Ayo we, ayo we, ayo we, kajo ijo ayo. Ayo we, ayo we, ayo we, kajo ijo ayo. Ore mi je kajo, kajo ijo ayo. Ore mi je kajo. Rewind, 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 rewind.
So, what next? I think misliš da smo dovoljni? Okay, još dva. Two more silly questions, small questions. Like, I don't know, something for the end probably, like something that you want to save to the people who are from here, who went to all your shows. I know that there are few of them already, you have already some fans here
Yeah.
in Croatia, maybe something for them or for us.
I'll have to say thank you to Ivana, really, from Rovini, because she always translates things and puts them on the Croatian website. When I left Zion Chain, she very carefully translated it for me and posted it on all of the reggae sites. I have to thank you. I have to thank Vedran because he's very brave, because I think to do a Zion Chain tour is, you know, fine, Zion Chain have been going for 15 years and fair enough, but to do a Molara tour when all you've got to go off is sort of one performance at Seasplash and then the association with Zion Chain, then I think it's a very brave thing to do, so I really appreciate that. I love everybody who's been. We haven't had a bad gig, even, you know, Ljubljana, there weren't so many people, but everybody who was there was totally into it. Pula, likewise. Split, Jesus. We've never been to Split. We've never played Split as Zion Chain, and they were just wild. They were great. And then again today in Zagreb, you know, just a great vibe and a very open vibe. And I think that's a very precious thing on this planet. There's a lot of arrogance in the music listening public, as well as the music performing public. And to go and have an audience, you just kind of go, okay, we're a blank canvas, you know. We're going to respond to you in terms of what you give. You give to them, they give back. You give, they give back. And then that's how you get brilliant experiences. So, hvala vam.
You're welcome. Yeah, I also think so, because tonight, last show was like people were probably also the people in the audience were a little bit exhausted from the weekend, because Croatians are party animals, you know, so
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday they lose their minds. So
They like to drink.
yeah, okay. So last thing, because I also heard that you are a football fan, I want to hear what you think who will win the upcoming World Cup.
That is a hard question. With all my heart and soul, I want Wayne Rooney to be fit, and I want it to be England, because it's in Germany. And of all of the teams in the world that I hate, you know, I talk about one love, but I do think that as a human being, there have to be certain places where you can express negative emotion. And for me, all of my positive, wild, screaming, running around the room, feeling sick, is related to football, really. So I hate the German national team, then I hate Man United, and then probably on a level it's like sort of Arsenal and Tottenham. But yeah, I love Liverpool, And I love Sammy Hoopier, I love Janano Rees, I love Stephen Gerrard, even though he fouls abysmally sometimes. I love Michael Owen. You know, what can I say? I don't love David Beckham, but he's a good player. I want England to win. I really, really, really want England to win, sorry. But I don't know who will win. I don't know. It's great at the minute because like there's so many killer teams. We've got Côte d'Ivoire and all these amazing teams in. Gutted that the Nigerian Super Eagles aren't in. They got knocked out, but there you go. Such is life. Don't know who will win. I'll be there. I'll just be there watching, just willing England to win, but quite realistic that, you know, we always have a massive build-up to these things and are ultimately disappointed, but there we go. Liverpool won the FA Cup, and that was great. So if we don't win as England, I will at least have that to fall back on as an emotional football experience.
Thank you very much, Molara, for this interview.
No, sorry, I can't marry you. I'm already taken. But
I know.
If I wasn't already taken, then I would want to marry you.
Thank you. I will consider this as a compliment.
Yes, do.
Yo.